Hey there guys, Rachele here with Amethyst Ascension. If you are new here, welcome, and if you are returning, thank you so much for joining me again. So tonight we are doing day number 6 of making of the Kyphi, and tonight I am going to be adding the apple wood. This only takes 1/2 of a part, so one part would be about right here. So only just a little bit right there, but it's a wood. So I'm not sure how long this is going to take me in order to cut this down. Now I'm using apple wood instead of cedar wood. And I wanted to read a little bit. I wasn't going to read out of this. I have a couple of the things that I'm reading, which I'll show you, which are just fantastic. Well, this, the Celtic Tree Oracle. So I've been reading out of this Oracle book. But also, earlier today, I read all about the apple tree in this book, The Celtic Tree Magic, Ogham Lore and Druid Mysteries by Danu Forrest. This is so good. Oh my goodness, it's so good. So, it was way more appropriate to use apple than what I even originally thought. It's definitely a sign from spirit, I think. Let's put it that way. And you'll see why in the way that this all turned out. So apple, let me read a little bit about it. So folk names is fruit of the gods, fruit of the underworld, silver branch, the silver bough, and tree of love. The gender is feminine, the planet is Venus, and the element is water. Deities are Venus, Dionysus, Olwen, Apollo, Hera, Athena, Aphrodite, Diana, Zeus, and Aduna. Powers are love, healing, garden magic, and immortality. Ritual uses are on August 13th, which, by the way, is today. How fitting. Was Diana's festival in Greece, Venus in Rome, and on this day a ritual meal was prepared, part of which consisted of apples still hanging on their boughs. But let me just grab this other one, because not just that. Also on August 13th, apples are sacred to the Roman goddess Pomona, whose name means fruit. Pomona oversees orchards and all fruit trees. Rather than the harvest itself, she was said to be a wood nymph who was tricked into marrying Vertumnus, the god of seasons, and a festival was held in both of their honor on the 13th of August. How interesting is that, right? Yeah. So let me continue. Let's see. Wiccan altars are often piled high with apples on Samhain, for the apple is considered to be one of the foods of the dead. For this very reason, Samhain is sometimes known as Feast of Apples. The apple is a symbol of immortality. A branch of the apple which bore buds, flowers, and fully ripened fruit, sometimes known as the silver bough, was a kind of magical charm which enabled its possessor to enter into the land of the gods, the underworld, in Celtic mythology. In the Old English ballad, Timaeus the Rhymer, Thomas the Rhymer, the fairy queen warns Thomas against eating any of the apples and pears which hung in her garden, for to eat the food of the dead ensures there will be no return to the world of the living. In some Wiccan traditions, the apple is a symbol of the soul, and so they are buried on Samhain so that those who will be reborn in the spring will have food during the cold winter months. The magical uses. The apple has long been used in spells of love. The blossoms are added to love sachets, brews, and incenses, and they are infused in melted pink wax, then strained out to make candles suitable to burn for attracting love. A simple apple love spell consists of cutting an apple in half and sharing it with your loved one. This ensures that you will be happy together. A similar spell directs you to hold an apple in your hand until warm, and then and then give it to your intended. If he or she eats it, your love will be returned. Apples are also used in love divinations, which were so popular among unmarried women in Europe for many centuries. Simply cut an apple in two and count the number of seeds. If there are an even if they are even, marriage will soon occur. If one of the seeds is cut, it may be a stormy relationship. If two are cut, widowhood is foretold. However, if an uneven number of seeds are found, the woman will remain unmarried in the near future. One last apple love spell. Take an apple before it falls from the tree and write upon it with a sharp knife the following: Alio, Dalio, and Dalato. As you do this, say the following words: I conjure thee, apple, by these names which are written on thee, that what woman or man toucheth and tasteth thee may love me and burn in my love as fire melteth wax. Then give the apple to whom you will, but be warned, for this, like much love magic, borders on manipulation. Yeah. See, I didn't know that that was in here, but because I don't really do that. Personally, myself, I don't do that. For healing, cut an apple into 3 pieces. Rub each on the affected part of the body and then bury them. Do this during the waning of the moon to banish illnesses. To ensure that you do not contract a fever, eat an apple. If you are a gardener, pour cider onto freshly turned earth to give it life just before planting. Also pour libations on roots just before tree rituals. And if you grow apples, bury 13 leaves of an apple tree after harvest to ensure a good crop of apples next year. The Norse, as well as many other peoples, ate apples to gain immortality through wisdom, and the wood of the apple tree can be made into charms for longevity. Apple wood also makes excellent magical wands, especially suited to emotional magic as well as love rites. Use apple cider in the place of blood where it is called for in an old recipe. Apples can be fashioned into puppets or magical figures for use in spells, or images can be carved from the wood itself. Before eating an apple, rub it to remove any demons or evil spirits which might be hiding inside. It says also, finally, unicorns live beneath apple trees as well as those of the ash. And so if you know of an apple orchard, quietly go there on a misty day. You may see a single horn upraised and a horse-like animal quietly munching sweet magical apples. Now, that's not quite what I thought. I had not read that part yet. I just seen that it was pretty long. But in the Tree Magic by Danu Forest, she talks about how in Greek mythology, the garden of the Hesperides contained a golden apple tree, which was given by Gaia to her daughter Hera when she married Zeus. The apples from this tree brought the dead back to life and healed the sick. It was guarded by a serpent and 9 goddesses, giving us clues to the apple's connection with life force and Kundalini, the serpent, and the spiral nature of our spiritual evolution, the 9 goddesses. Apples are also sacred to Aphrodite, Greek goddess of love and sexuality, to whom the pentagram within the apple is also sacred, suggesting that it is the apple's great life force manifesting sometimes in sexual energy that heals and transforms. And there was... Apples are also used in divination. The methods are varied, but burning apple pips after assigning each one with a potential lover's name, and throwing apple peel over the left shoulder to see if it forms a person's initials are both ancient ways reduced to parlor entertainment over the passage of time. Apples placed under one's pillow and asked with intent to aid the questioner are a powerful technique to induce prophetic dreams. And there's an old Scottish tradition of eating an apple at Samhain whilst looking into a mirror. It is said that you will see the person that you are to marry over your shoulder. There was a tradition in Germany until the 19th century to pour the water from a newborn baby's bath over the roots of an apple tree to grant the child good health, attractiveness, and fertility. And it's also like a powerful healer. And it also says Ogham divination, meaning as an Ogham court which is what they're called, apples, works with the connection between the mind, body, and spirit, aiding the seeker in the quest for wholeness. It is a good magical symbol to aid in seeking inspiration from dreams and other worldly connections, reminding us of the continual connection with the otherworldly paradise and our inner divinity. It suggests and helps in operating with right action, coming from an inner sense of wholeness and returning to wholeness. In divination, it suggests that right action can be found when acting from a sense of vision and goodness. Now, also, out of this, when it talks about the apple tree, it talks about how it is also connected with the female lineage. Female lineage, decisions, choices, beauty, abundance, regeneration, fertility, and motherhood. And that it is a very sacred tree. The totems are the fairies, the pentacle, female lineages, and Glastonbury, which, divinity guides, the mother aspect of the goddess Gaia, and female ancestors. The funny thing about that is my ancestry on my mother's side comes from Somerset, from her name, her maiden name. And so they come actually from, then it said Somersetshire, but Somerset, which is in, which Glastonbury is in. So I thought that was really quite fascinating, and another reason why I really, really wanted to use the apple tree. Now, I have no idea. I'm gonna first, oops, I don't even know if this is a good idea. Probably not. Okay, hopefully he's going to be quiet. Now, I don't know how well this is going to work. I was going to try and cut it, but that's not going to work. So I might actually have to put this in my grinder. But another interesting fact or tidbit for you is also that the female lineage in my family is also where the prophetic dreams come from. Come on. So as I said, this calls for a half a part. And this holds roughly about up to here, like 4 parts. So I could probably take a little bit out of that. So I think that's about what I'm going to get. And about the best I'm going to get. So let me see if this is still burning. I do this offering in honor of the female line in my family. Oh my gosh, that smells so good. Honoring their gifts of prophecy. And I make this offering for my ability to travel to the other world in order to gain insight. And may there be always love and protection, and may my female line be there with me as I travel. That's what my offering is for this time. Oh my gosh, that smells so good. Wow. Thank you. All right, so that was it for this evening. We can check on this, but it looks about the same. I'm going to smell it. Oh my gosh, look at that. It smells so incredible. I do have a spoon down here. Let's put a little bit more of my female lineage into this. Yes. My ancestors. I hope you are there with me when I journey. All right, guys, so tomorrow we are doing, I believe it's 1 part of juniper berries. Hopefully this is a little bit easier to break down. I think that it will be, I hope. So I will see you tomorrow on night number 7. And I'm sending you all tons of love. Thank you.